Got it. All right. We are live.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So, intimate and open. That's what we're here for. I'm going to open it up and I'd love whoever signs on first to just say you can see and hear us. I can see us. Um, all right. We'll just kick it and hopefully we can hear each other. All right. So, I'm very excited to introduce these two amazing experts and friends. And we're coming to you tonight to discuss how we got excited, how we came together, and why we're bringing this event to men called Intimate and Open. So I want to introduce Tessa Crone, who I met because I was on her podcast, The Open Nesters. And she introduced me to Isha, who's a super talented and knowledgeable goddess about embodiment and all things, I think masculine, feminine, if I had to just say it quickly. So I'd also love for you to introduce yourselves. And Tessa, why don't you go first because you're the genius behind this trio.
I love trios. There's a magic in three, and this is so fun. So I am a newly open nester instead of an empty nester. And it always explored my mindfulness and sexuality as I, in this beautiful aging time of my life that I embrace and love. And I have done programs with Isha, and I interviewed Shane, and all of a sudden collaboration came to mind around how can I work with these two fabulous women? And when I started speaking to Shane the same week, I said something about collaboration. Shane said, yeah, I want to work with men. Men need the work, but men could benefit from the work. And that's something that I feel like I'm doing in my life all the time with men. And then I spoke to Isha this very same week, and she said the same thing. And that was my magic kind of aha, like, that's it. We got to get this together, girls, and just see how we can raise this love of men from how we love them and how we can view them to how, first of all, how they can view themselves. So I'm so excited about this kind of stage of life of intimacy and openness when we have this time in our lives at my stage as an open nester, and that's my podcast, to explore that. So that's my very short little intro.
Yeah, amazing. And Isha, why don't you share a little bit about why you're excited to be here?
Well, I'm so excited to be here because I've been wanting to work with men, especially over the last 6 months. I've been really recognizing in a new way how men are subject to the same conditioning, this experience of feeling like they're not enough and too much, like they have to be vulnerable, but they have to be strong, and all of these ways that they feel constricted, and they get to live in sort of this narrow range of experience when really they want to bring their full energy into a partnership. They want to feel a sense of purpose and really embody that beautiful dance of masculine and feminine, active and receptive energies, and bring it out into the world in a way that is bigger than their relationship and bigger than who they are, than just the self, right? And I work with intimacy wounds. I'm a trauma psychologist. And I think of myself as an energy alchemist and a mom triple whore, like a sacred, embodying the sacred prostitute, really marrying heart and pelvic connection. So that's really the realm of where I hang out in terms of the healing work.
Amazing. And if you're new to me, because we're meshing our groups and our worlds, I am just really excited about having more people to play with and having more people play with each other with wisdom and connection and like fortitude and just a way to do it that feels fun. So many, I've worked with women for so long, and I always say, it's true, I was a stripper and a preschool teacher, and women were left out of that playful arena. And then I thought, like, I'm going to work with men. This is going to be so different. They're going to have so many different problems and situations. And then I began working with men, and they were saying the same thing women were saying, that they've sort of settled on not being in a relationship, or being in a relationship that felt like they were just friends and sort of roommates. And I have woven myself in and out of workshops that really all have to do with play. And it's not always joyful, but it is energizing. And so I love all three of our backgrounds have to do with doing the thing. Like, there's so many books to learn from. And a lot of men, I think, are like YouTubing and learning. But if you don't have a place, if you don't get to practice it, it's only potentially powerful. So I think we're all really excited to listen. Everyone knows there's many places for women to learn and practice in women's circles and this and that. And for men, there's work out there, but the visuals seem to be over sexual, or just very sexual, I'll say, or kind of emasculated and very emotional. And what I love about all of us, because we've spoken before, is like we want to bring all the parts. Like it's okay to be emotional, and it's okay to be a strong man. And so, yeah, I think our plan for tonight is just to talk shit with each other and get excited, and invite you formally to our event, which is happening in October. And it's just for men, but women are absolutely invited to chime in here, because essentially we want to all work together. That's where freedom is.
Yeah, we want to understand each other. We want to be able to have that, the experience of such deep connection of, like, men wanting the same passionate, like juicy relationship, to be ravaged and to ravage, like that depth, to have like a spiritual connection with a partner, but to also have it be embodied and sexual and hot.
And the paradoxes of always having belonging and security in our lives while still having risk and desire and fun.
Yes.
And that's what I find. So I asked my husband of 31 years, and we're polyamorous. And before I got on this call, I asked him, what is it that you feel like, and he's going to be on the event on October 25th because he wants to. And he said, look, he's very lucky. And I feel like it's not just him. I'm very lucky because we are able to have a vulnerability around our intimacy to discuss whether it's fantasy or whether it's really exploration in our lives, a place to come home to with that sense of security. And that's one of the areas that I really do help couples and men and women with, is that to balance both of those. And so I think all of us, like, pushing open the envelopes as far as playing with it, and then letting people kind of sort out where is it that they feel like they need that where do they need to be held, where do they need to go for more support. And this is just an opening. This is just a let's bless this messiness of not knowing what we really love, but allowing one another to explore that.
Yeah.
So I want to just open that, like, wide open for everyone.
Yeah.
That's the idea, and that we have such beautiful expertise in the two of you and your gorgeous souls. And I feel so lucky to just be with you in your presence. And for anyone who's joining us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And what I noticed too in working, I have worked with men in the past, and then for a time I just focused on women, and now I'm coming back to men. And it's funny because there was this, men were knocking on my door. They were reading my posts that I was writing for women, and they were like, hey, what about us? They were literally knocking on, well, not literally, but knocking on my door and really asking for the work, because there is a dearth of people doing this work with men. And, there's a real, I feel like, there are men's groups and workshops with male leaders, and there's also a benefit to having women support men in this work, right? It depends on where you are in your developmental path. But yeah, it's really, we're going into, yes, we're addressing gender, but really we're going into the human realm, this deep need for connection, this deep desire to be not only connected to other, but to be self-connected, right? Because you can't have connection without being connected to yourself.
Absolutely. And it's interesting you say that because I'm a behaviorist. So I'm here to like help change behavior. And I think what we all, we can talk airy fairy about what we think and want and feel, but what I love about us is the practical, like, how are we going to do that? What are they going to, what are men going to walk away with?
Yeah.
And the truth is we're exploring long-term supporting, having this trio. And wouldn't it be fun to have men and women who have training and very particular practical tools? Because a lot of times, and this two stories came up when you were sharing. One man wrote, he's like, I'm all fucked up. Like not knowing where to go and thinking, is it sexual? Maybe I need a therapist. Maybe I need, like just to play basketball again. Like there's so many angles. And I think it's really important to like your teacher and to feel, so we're all amazing and we bring different energies to the table. And so what I think is important for men to realize is, you can go to 10 different mechanics to get your car fixed for different parts, or you can be like, I want to like really explore and be curious and be open. And a lot of times when a client hires me, at some point they're like, well, I just thought you were really pretty, or they use whatever words. And it's like, great, whatever gets your body to show up to the session and be excited. Because a lot of men, and comment if you're watching on the replay, if this is something that you're kind of weirded out by. I'm making a movie about brotherhood. And when I ask people on the street, like, what do you think about brotherhood? I think 4 out of 10 are like, oh, I have a brother, or I don't have a brother. And so the idea of men together is so unheard of in the mainstream, unless you're like digging and the Mankind Project, like there are global organizations, but most men are like, what do I have to be with a circle of men for? And the reason is, and why we are holding only a men's group is there's something relaxed about being with your brothers, being led by women. Wise women are not going anywhere, and we have a lot to offer. And we want more men to be in their power because we know so many amazing women who want to show up and explore as well. And the biggest complaint I hear is like, there's no men. I'm like, well, that's not true. But women are like, we want them to be trained and have, communication skills and know. And the men that I feel have the biggest hearts have sort of taken themselves out of the game and have made themselves friends. And they do beautiful favors for women. They're driving them places. They're, picking up their dog. They're picking up their kid, but they're not romantically involved.
And I mean, a lot of men receive messaging, right? Like now, especially, like they can't bring their sexual energy, like their sexual energy is dangerous. It's like threatening, it's lecherous, it's unwanted. And so they bring their heart forward, but they're not bringing that juicy eros with them. And what the task here is not to put it away and lock it in a box, but it is to develop and cultivate a container for you to hold it in a really beautiful boundaried way. I'll never forget a man that I was in my 4-year somatic training with, who was incredibly sexual, but held it so well that, you would hug him and you would feel the sexuality dripping from him. And at no point did it feel invasive or icky. He was just holding all of it. And people were like so attracted to him. He wasn't the most good looking guy in the room, but it was so juicy.
Oh my God, that is such a beautiful thing. And that's why so many men have taken themselves out of the game. It's because they're like, who wants this? Like they don't look like whatever they think a man should look like. But right. If somebody comes with powerful energy and knows their instrument and knows how to operate, I just got chills talking about it. Like
you need that, Eros. And actually, I've actually worked with a few men who they were vulnerable and wanted to open their relationship, but they were holding so much as a caretaker also. So I want to make sure I bring them into the equation because they're the ones that I feel for because I have in my life and in my community and I've grown to see. And the fact that they can now enter a space that is accepted and held and vulnerable to say, I also can see this side of myself and still activate my juicy manhood and sometimes as they are able to age and release and surrender and find brotherhood. I love this term because brotherhood is usually about sports or doing something together, and women have these beautiful women groups or possibility posses that we're creating around intimacy all the time, and men don't. So it's not just about going to a mankind project. I mean, they do have the men group, but maybe being able to practice with women. And that's why we want to bring this out so that we can actually create breakout groups that they can practice with us to see how they're seen and to be witnessed for all of they are. Even as this caretaker, to try to release some of that and let it unfold, and especially looking at Act 3 and claiming their sexuality and claiming their intimacy and love in the way they need it. And it's so funny because Barbara Carrellis, one of my mentors, who's an urban tantra person, I think it's her friend that wrote a book that what you can do with a limp dick. I mean, the truth is, it's not even about the freaking cock. It's not about your cock all the time. So I just want to say, it is so much, that's all that male stuff that says, I have to perform.
Yeah.
And we're here to explain to you that you don't have to perform in that way.
Yeah.
That we accept all the dimensions of your man-female side, that you can be welcomed here.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to make sure to convey.
I love that you said the performance piece. We are a performative society. And so, I own the Awkward Academy. Like, I know that awkward brings people together. If you can wrangle through that like discomfort of like, okay, I'm insecure, or whatever doesn't want to be seen.
Yes.
Actual connection there. And there's no gender attached to awkward. And so really allowing the weird, messy stuff. I think, Tessa, you said that, like, we have to get messy. And, I'm afraid of intimacy in real life. Like, I see how I avoid it. So my favorite place to hang out is workshops because there's a facilitator. I feel safe, and we're not even talking about touching. So what a luxury to do this shit from your house, from the couch. A lot of people say, oh, I can't connect online. But imagine you get all the practice you need online. Maybe you'll feel impacted physically, and then go and try it in the world. Here's your homework. Go do it. Come back and report back what worked, what didn't work. And I think, I'm super excited. I really personally want more people to play with. I can be really intimidated by like Mr. Machismo. So we are really excited about the gamut of like Mr. Machismo all the way to Mr. Romantic. I'll be your friend forever. And to put everybody in the game and be human together is such a turn on.
Yeah.
Turn on.
And I was talking with a guy today. I met up with someone who runs men's groups, I think in Colorado or somewhere on the westish coast. And he was talking about one of the most common things, going back to the piece around brotherhood, one of the most common stories that men have, or one of the responses that they have when in groups of men together. I thought I was the only one. Right? Because men are not encouraged to have these conversations, to share their experiences. And so they grow up in this isolation and they think something's wrong with them. And they're holding this inadequacy when, like you said, Shane, if we all just own the fact that we're awkward, like what a lovely place to, like what a beautiful jumping off point, and just like way to drop into like, oh, okay, I get to be here with my awkwardness and everybody's okay. And we're all on the same page. Like that is already like the building of safety and trust right there.
And my husband was saying the same thing, men are just taught they can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't find that space to just be that. And so they'll find women friends. And that's what Jane, you were saying. They'll find women friends to be vulnerable with. But we want you to bring all of that to, into into your lives in this life. Like just
Yeah.
that's the ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All ages, like this isn't, all ages. I mean, I think the men I've worked with are like 55 to 65. And, there's so much life to live. And so everybody's invited, but that age specifically it's so easy to take yourself out of the game. Your friend over there has a wife, blah, blah, blah. This one has a disease. Like it's easy to become an alta cocker. Like it's easy to become, but there's so much energy that we really want from you, and silliness and playfulness that maybe somewhere along the lines in society, it's like be a man, be a hero, do all the right things, but there's other parts. And really we're talking about being whole. And so that's what our goal is. Our goal is to be whole.
And both of these women, which is why I love both of you, are so embodied with the way you work in the practice that we don't have to make this just discussion oriented. I mean, I do too. I do a lot of mindfulness, movement, play practices. And so what we want to bring forward is how we can maybe break out into groups that actually allow you to start moving some of that energy, to feel it deeply in your body and not just to talk about it. So we don't want this to be a talk therapy only. I mean, we want when we say bring it out, we're going to find all kind of ways to do that with you. So let's welcome that. We're going to welcome that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And then maybe we'll do a go around, and I just want to let people know I'm going to put the link. It's $18 because if I love the 18 means chai, means life in the Jewish world. And so I want to give everybody an opportunity to just grab your ticket if you feel inspired right now. This is a men's only event. So if you have a friend that's just like stuck somewhere, just like buy him a gift, like, or invite him or something, but feel free to share this link. Okay, go ahead, Isha.
Yeah, I just was gonna say, jumping or piggybacking on what Tessa was sharing around, just a really simple toolkit. We're talking about like an embodied practice of getting clear about what you want, practicing truth telling, and doing it from a place where you are connected to self, like just connected to sensation. When you drop into your body and when you just share, like, just providing, like, let's say you're having strife with your partner, coming into that conversation, just naming what you're holding already sets the tone for the discussion. Like, if Shane, if you and I had a conflict, I would come in and say, I'm feeling worry in my chest. And the story that I'm telling myself coming into this conversation with you is that you don't want me around, or that I annoy you, and already then that drops us into sort of this more dropped in place versus like being in the story, holding the story. Let's name the story. Let's name what you're feeling in your body, what sensations are happening. So these are really simple embodiment toolkit and skills that can be practiced on a daily basis.
With anyone, right?
Yeah, so, anyone.
Any human being, man or woman, when you get into a space, there's a third energy there. There's the unknown, right? Yeah. I have my story, you have yours. It could be amazing. It could be like, you remind me of my friend from second grade, and I just feel this love for you regardless of what you do. So just really being curious. There's nothing better on a date or in a relationship you've been in for 30 years to be like, there's never a finish line. There's never like, I know this person so well. There's always more.
Yeah.
And so we're going to practice that, and you're going to leave feeling different. You're going to feel something in your body or in your mind.
When we allow them.
Wait, repeat that. It blanked
out. You cut out.
I said, especially when we do need to continue to explore allowing each other the space for new possibilities, whether it's kink or whether there are areas of my body that I just want to explore in different ways. And if I can't do that with the same man, or if I want to bring that energy into to him, I can be open enough and vulnerable to feel, to even sometimes feel any shame, and he can too, and that we can bring that into that safe space. So we want you to know this is something we welcome, that women welcome, that that's the true nature of a human relationship. And it's, and that's it. We'll do a lot more with the toolkit that Isha's talking about, and have some more breakout with you as we wind down for this one, because that's going to be a lot longer and a lot more planned, and maybe you'll have some homework before. I don't know. We want to give homework.
I love that. Cool. So if you're watching this, I'd love for you to just comment in the box and just say, right now I feel, and 1 or 2 words, just like man or woman or any gender that's in this group, just to really like, do you feel distracted? Doesn't have to be positive. Do you just like, what's happening for you right now as you're listening to us as we wrap up? No matter when you caught this, it's just great to be seen in what you're thinking and feeling. And also it gets you engaged and it brings this into your world, and then when you have some conversation, so it's already started, this process has already started. And, we're really excited about this, and people have already signed up, which is always a good sign. If you post the event and people buy it the same day, it's always like, yes, feels promising. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to meeting everybody. And if you have any questions from anything we've shared so far, put them in the comments and then we'll answer. And then we'll be doing another just like drop-in conversation in the Open Nesters group. So if you have any questions, put them here and we'll answer them over there. And we'll have like a little, conglomeration and a party together.
Party together.
Yeah. And then in the meantime, I'll also post the links of these 2 amazing sisters if you want to see what their work is about. Of course, you're always available to drop in my DM. Yeah, anything else? Anybody want to close out with something?
No, well, I just want to say with regard to the links, my current website is revolucionaryromperreglas.com, and I'm currently building a new website for my work with men under ishavela.com. So that's not up yet. So worry not. You can contact me via Revolutionary Romperreglas and I will respond.
Great. Or just drop us a DM, like a private message. I have an application when I feel like a tough guy, but sometimes I'm like, just write me. Let's see what happens.
Sounds great.
Cool.
You can find me under theopennesters.com.
Awesome.
And I'm Tessa, and I have a page there, theopennesters.com.
Awesome. It's been so fun. I love dropping in here in this collaboration and just bringing Shakti to this space. So thank you both. And we'll see you soon. I put the link in the comments. It's pinned. So just grab your ticket and we'll see you there. All right. Bye.
Bye.